Yes.
Can you hear me now?
We can
can
really
hear you
hear you
now.
clearly
Now we
now.
can hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, okay,
Won't
all
we
right.
do it?
It's it's
Yeah.
it's, it's okay, sister. We ain't going nowhere. We're so glad to
Thank
glad to
you.
have you. And sister, what made you come up with this concept of this new EP, Dan Soul?
Well, I am coming up on 10 years of celebrating 10 years of being a solo artist.
Yes.
I recorded my first album in 2010. So last year, when I was thinking of ways to celebrate that decade in music, I just had that idea. I thought it would be cool to do some remixes of some of the favorite songs from the last three albums that I've done. Some of the singles, some of the album cuts, but I thought it would be cool, and I just had the idea of just reimagining those songs as dance songs.
Hmm.
And I imagine if you see on my social media, there's one. The designs that you'll see for this album are featuring my eyes, and one features one eye with the crowd dancing in
Uh-huh.
the eye because
Uh-huh.
I imagine all of us who know and love my music just kind of dancing to it and having a good time and being free and letting go. And hopefully introducing this music to ears that have never heard of me or even heard my music. I've always had an emphasis on going outside of the normal
Hmm.
confines of church and gospel, so it can reach people who really do,
Who really
who
need it?
don't know God.
Hmm.
Yeah, who really need it and
Hmm.
are looking for some inspiration, but may not never go to church or don't connect to Jesus. Keep me near the cross, you
Right.
know. So, this I thought this was a cool idea. I mentioned it to my husband, who is my writing partner, my producing partner.
Hmm.
He did all the production on these remixes, so I thought it was fun. We did several, and we settled on seven of those. So I'm hoping everybody is digging. I'm getting a good response so far, so it's cool. And I see it spreading past normal church, so that
See,
really makes me feel
Well,
that's
good.
what you're doing. That's what I'm talking
well, I
about.
saw that video and I thought what she was in. I interpreted that she was saying that I was the apple of her eye, but I guess now we got the full interpretation.
Oh, okay.
We got the full interpretation now.
You
Uh,
got the
uh,
full clarity
you know,
now, huh?
You got the
yeah.
revelation.
Thank you for the revelation. No,
Yeah,
one of the
yeah.
things that we love about you is that you are taking the cross to the
You're
masses,
taking the cross.
and you're doing it
Mm,
unapologetically, and you're doing it without any fear. And we're big fans when husband and wives are working together
Yes.
in the kingdom. A lot of people in the
yeah.
music industry don't realize that ministry is just not pastor and
It
wife, but
starts at home.
ministry, it could be
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
music or in giving or in service,
Hmm.
but you're working
Mhm.
together. So we applaud you and your husband on this work because um, he is truly allowing you to be all that you are going to
Hmm.
be and all you
Mhm.
can be, but at the same time you're doing the same thing. And so we just celebrate black love right here on God Radio One, especially when they say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And so, what was your approach to this album compared to your previous albums?
Well, it was different because we were dealing with songs that we had recorded and released already.
Hmm.
So some of them we pulled the original vocals and just put new music to those vocals. We did "It's Done" is a beautiful song from my first album, and it's such a encouraging affirmation. Um, that one we did is called an interpolation.
Hmm.
So when you hear "It's Done,"
Interpolation. Y'all hear that? Interpolation.
interpolation.
All
Got a
Yes,
right.
new word.
yeah.
Go on,
And that
Jesse.
simply means that it's not really a sample where we're using other people's work, but it's inspired by, and it reminds you of "What a Fool Believes" by the Doobie Brothers.
Oh
And I'm
yes,
going
that's a
back a little
classic.
bit with
That's
that
a
one.
classic. Ooh.
Yeah, yeah. So we kind of merged those two vibes together and used those original vocals from my first album and kind of put new music to that. I did a jazz song called "Here's to Life." And we used those vocals from my slower version of "Here's to Life." That song is by Shirley Horn,
Hmm.
and I released that last year. So that was cool to kind of use some of the original vocals and put new vibes to them. And then some of the others I re-recorded and put totally new vibes to them, like "Jesus Will," the
Oh yes.
classic "Jesus
Oh
Will."
yes.
We did a old grimy house gospel house vibe to
Uh oh.
that.
Uh oh.
Wow.
Um, we certainly did. We
She said
certainly
grimy,
did.
y'all.
I just
Yes.
Yeah, I think that we can have fun, and we've
Yes.
heard it forever, but you don't have to just not have fun just because that you're a believer, that you're saved, and you love God. That's when you can really have fun because you have joy in your heart. So that was the approach, to really, really give each song its own identity, but it's each has a different vibe of gospel house and chill house music and chill dance music. I actually had a Zoom dance party last Thursday.
What?
We trying to make it work with this quarantine. So yes, it was a Zoom
And we
dance
You
wasn't
weren't
party.
invited. And
invited.
we wasn't invited. God
I
Radio.
posted about it. I'm sorry. I will have another one, and
No,
I'll send you your personal
yeah,
invite.
There
because
you
see,
go.
we want to be
We
invited.
want
We
to
don't
be
want to be,
invited. We want a personal invitation.
yeah. So,
I heard
so
that. Don't give me no general
yeah,
invitation,
yeah.
huh?
Okay, so here's the
For
thing.
sure.
I gotta ask this question because I've been a record
Mhm.
executive for over 30 years, and I used
Mhm.
to manage my wife before I got fired. Um,
Okay. Okay.
in her
Okay.
music career, because in the house, you have the house and how you communicate with each other, and baby, honey, I love you and everything. But when we get to the
Mhm.
studio, I'm
Mhm.
producer, you artist, sing the song, write
Mhm.
anime. My question is, how do you and your husband work together? And is there ever a point that you look at your husband and say, "Look, baby, I'm your wife. Don't you talk to me like that?" And he keep on saying,
Well,
"You the
yeah.
artist."
There are plenty of those moments, huh? It's an interesting dance to switch our hats. We work very closely together, and that can be a challenging area. While it is such a blessing, and we have all access to one another, so when we get a vibe, we can just work on it right on the spot. The writing and creative sessions are sometimes they flow super smooth because we flowing, and these ideas feel good to both of us. And then sometimes we have opposite ideas
Hmm.
for this lyric or
That's
that
creative.
part of
That's
the
two
song.
creative people.
Yeah, and we just have to find that middle. It's a bit of a tug of war sometimes because we can both be headstrong, and I'm like, no, I want this to be the lyric, and he
Right.
like, no, this needs to be the lyric.
Right.
So it definitely we bump heads at times. I tell everybody, as much of a blessing as it is, I will not front and say it's always super duper easy,
Right.
but I think that is a part of the creative process to get the best result.
Right.
And yes, there are times because I am the president of my label,
Yeah.
and I
She
am
owns her label, y'all.
She,
yeah, and I own my music, the
Yes.
majority of my
Big
music, and
boss.
I am the boss lady, and I'm
Yes.
calling the shots.
Come
I
on.
have to,
wait,
I
wait,
have to
wait,
pull rank every now and
wait,
then,
wait, wait,
but
wait, wait, wait. Wait a minute, hold on. She like, hold it on. He said, see, I write the checks, and if
let it
you,
be
yeah,
known.
and if you want dinner tonight, and you want them biscuits and gravy, you gonna agree with me on this one right here. I'm taking the boss role and the head wife role. We see you, Miss Wilson. We see you.
Every now and again, every now and again, I yield too.
Right.
I
Right.
do yield as
Brother, we
well.
praying for you. We praying for you.
Right.
Keep your head up, brother.
Please
Keep
Right.
your
do.
head up.
Right.
Please do. For y'all pray for him. That's
That's
Right.
what
what I'm
y'all do.
saying. We praying
Pray
for
for
him.
him
Right.
dealing
We
Right.
with me.
praying for him.
Right.
He's a great man of God.
Hilarious.
Right.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But my husband, he's wonderful, and he has such a beautiful gift
Hmm.
as a
Yes.
songwriter. Of course, he
Producer.
wrote the
Hmm.
classic worship song more than anything
Yes.
that I was blessed to re-record a few years ago. It was
Hmm.
on Kanye West's gospel album,
Hmm.
and he has so many songs under his belt, and he
Wow.
writes all genres and does a lot of producing. So this
Hmm.
project was cool for him too, to do something that was a little different. We try to keep it fresh,
Fresh.
y'all, and
Hmm.
keep it something. I used to kind of frown on my low voice and my raspy voice,
Are
and I
you
wanted
kidding
to
me,
sing
sister? That's
higher.
the soul. That's
No,
soul. That's soul.
yeah, I had I had to embrace that when I was working with Donald Lawrence
Yes.
almost 10 years before becoming a solo artist.
Yes.
He caught me one time saying, I think we were listening to the radio on the way to one of the engagements, and I was like, God, I wish I could sing high like that. I wish I could
Yes.
do those runs. And he looked at me like, why? Your voice gives people something different to listen to.
Yes.
It gives like a break. It gives something different.
Yes.
So Donald continued to he started that, and he's always he planted that seed for me to own my tone. He would say, own your tone, own your tone. So I'm grateful, and as you mentioned, I don't have any fear. I am a processed woman because these 10 years in this industry,
Hmm.
um, I've learned a lot of lessons. I've
Hmm.
cried a lot of tears. I've
Hmm.
had a lot of disappointments and eye-opening moments. And I just now know, I've known it for a while, but I'm glad to be completely in the space of having creative control and control of what I do. And I know that the downside of that can be that maybe my reach isn't as far as a major label with a big old machine behind me. But the better part of it, and the best part of it is I can go to sleep at night, y'all, knowing that I'm being authentic. I'm not
Yes.
trying to be something that I'm
That
not,
these companies want to
and I'm
make you.
comfortable with the
Hmm.
music. I can be sassy. I can be, flirty. I can
Right.
be, all the ways that I want to be
Right.
while maintaining gospel and
Right.
integrity and the message of Christ and showing love to everybody who needs love. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the freedom God has given me.
But you have the big machine, Jesus Christ, and your music is bigger.
Mm.
And I don't mean this in a negative way, but your music is bigger
Mm-hmm.
than the title gospel music. Your music
I understand.
is universal music. I'm going to be honest, because I am a true fan of yours, and I like most about you is that
Wow.
you served. I look at you
Mm-hmm.
from your days singing with Donald and Yolanda
Mm-hmm.
and different artists. You served. You served in your church because you were a worship leader, correct?
Mm-hmm. I was a worship leader and choir director at Fellowship Chicago. I sure was for about 6, 7 years. Mm-hmm.
Wait a
Mm-hmm.
minute, hold on.
Yeah.
Did you say Chicago?
Yeah, she shut Chicago.
We
With
got
Fellowship.
we got a beef with Chicago.
Oh, here he go with his
Eh,
beefs.
What kind of beef y'all got with
Let me
Chicago?
tell you. I'm gonna
That's
say.
him,
I'm gonna
Anita.
say.
I don't.
Okay.
I'm
That's
like
not you.
saying we
Okay.
know
Okay.
Chicago got some of the best choirs in the world.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
but I want you to know that Chicago in the wintertime ain't nothing but the devil. I made the mistake of coming to Chicago in the wintertime, and that hawk almost knocked me off my feet. And so,
Now that is a mistake.
yeah, you feel what I'm saying? So that's my beef with Chicago. I have to literally when somebody say, "Well, we want you to come and preach in Chicago," first thing I said, as long as it's not in the
When?
wintertime,
Yes.
I'm good.
Right.
But if
Right.
it's in the wintertime, the devil is a lie
Right.
and everything. So
Yeah.
let me ask you this question: since you've been able to
Okay.
brave, see now I kind of understand her style because she got this like dope style. But when you in those layered countries and places where you got to layer, you know how to
Yeah.
really dress. To look cute but yet still stay warm. So
For
let me
sure.
let me ask you this question. Uh, I've been in the church since I've been born. Robert and Earl Dean have been in church since I've been born, and Robert's been singing. I've been playing and preaching and all the other
I'm
stuff.
raspy too.
How is it?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, how is it? Do you handle when you up there singing for the Lord, and then you go sit down and somebody passes you a note with a number on it? How do you handle that type of attention right after you get out off of ministering?
With their number, you mean like trying to holler at me, or
Yes,
can you get
ma'am.
in touch for it?
When they
You,
try to when they
well,
try to holler at you.
I haven't had that. I don't think I've had that scenario, so I can't really speak to that. I've had some interesting situations over the years where but this one guy I was singing with Donald, and this guy sent me flowers to the church I was at,
Uh huh.
and then I went home next day and it was flowers at my house,
Uh
and
huh.
then it was flowers at my job. So I've had weird stuff like that
Security.
kind of yes, indeed. It kind of wigged me out. Like,
Yeah.
so then you walk into your car looking over your shoulder, like, is he at my car?
Yeah.
So I haven't had a whole lot of scenarios where people try to shoot their shot, as they say. I have been, first of all, thank God, I've been married for the last 3 years. But
Uh-huh.
even before then, when people did not know I was in a relationship, they may just kind of look at me googly eyed. But I don't have nobody trying to pass me their number as soon as I'm wiping my sweat, trying to,
Right.
come down from singing
For
and stuff.
ministering.
Thank God.
Right.
Bless the
Thank God.
Lord.
Yeah.
I've had it happen at the altar call. And I'm like, the devil is a lie. It called
Yeah.
mother. Pray for this one right here because I can't do this one.
Yeah,
But
let me pass this to somebody else.
yeah. So Robert,
You
you talked about Donald Lawrence. Let's
yes.
talk about that.
Yes. How did you get hooked up with Donald in the first place?
Well, I often say the beginning of my journey has been kind of the poster child for
Hmm.
one thing leading to another. In 2002, I grew up in East St. Louis, Illinois.
Hmm.
And
All
I
right, St.
moved
Louis.
to Chicago. Yes, and I grew up in East St. Louis, honey. East
Yes.
St. Louis.
You heard that.
That's
Kennedy
different than St.
Temple.
Louis.
Wait,
Kennedy Temple Church of God in
wait,
Christ.
wait, wait.
Yes,
She got
yes,
street cred.
Yeah.
She said East St. Louis. You
Oh
know, that's
yes.
where Nelly and all them.
yeah. That's different.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I moved to Chicago in '99, and my brother was pastoring at that time, and he did an independent project where he had Vashawn Mitchell co-produced, and Rick
Chicago.
Robinson was the MD.
Okay.
Now I didn't know these people. Calvin Rogers on the drums, and
Oh,
my brother was
big
like, "Oh,
names.
we got Calvin, we
Yes.
got Rick,
Yeah.
we got." I was like, "Okay, whatever,"
Right.
But we did that project, and it went well, and that's where I met Rick Robinson, my husband, my
Mhm.
now husband.
Mhm.
And then a couple of years after that, Vashawn was doing an independent project called "Believe in Your Dreams." And Rick and Bashan kind of remembered working with me on that previous project, so they asked me to sing alto
Mhm.
on Bashan's live recording.
Mhm.
Donald actually did a song on there. It was a rendition of "I Got a Home Up in That Kingdom, Ain't That Good News."
Mm-hmm.
So he came to one of the rehearsals and he was at the live session, and I happened to sing the end. Bashan asked me to tag the end of a worship song called "Lost in His Presence." You guys should listen to it.
Yes.
It's streaming. "Lost in His Presence." The latter 2 minutes of that song I'm leading, and that's where Donald heard me sing. And then after which he asked me to do an engagement with him here in Chicago. And then I did that, and I was all nervous. We didn't have rehearsal. He was just, yeah, he was like, "Hey, learn the best is yet to come, and never seen the righteous." I was like, "Oh my God, this is Donald Lawrence," because I
Right.
was a fan of Tri City. So I did that engagement, and I, afterwards I thanked him, and he was like, "I'm gonna call you, I'm gonna call you," and I was like, "Okay." I was inside my head like, "This
Yeah.
man ain't gonna
Right.
call me.
Mhm.
He's just being nice right now." But he did call me. It was at the time that he was handpicking singers to form what we now know as Donald Lawrence and
Company.
Company.
Mhm.
So at first, I didn't know if it was a thing here or there. That's it right there. I didn't know if it was temporary or not. Yeah, that's "Lost in His Presence." Are you going to play a little bit of that?
I wanted to get it. I'm trying to get that music bed right underneath you.
Got you, got you. Yeah, so that's the song that Donald first heard me, and then he planted me into his singers, Donald Lawrence and Company,
Right.
where I worked almost 10 years, y'all. We traveled and I toured with the Tri City Finale tour.
Yes.
I learned so much working with Donald, and so much about music and integrity and class and producing.
Mhm.
I was just being a sponge because I realized that I was in the presence of greatness.
Right.
So I paid attention to what I was learning. I didn't even realize that I would one day be able to apply it to a solo journey, because I didn't see the day where I was going to become a solo artist. But yeah, one thing led to another. So I worked with Donald almost a decade before
Wow.
starting my solo career, and it molded me. And as I mentioned, with him influencing me to embrace my tone, and I think I really found my voice. I love singing background with my family Company. I
They
love
background you,
harmonizing.
huh?
Yeah, yes, they did. The
Yes.
Company, that was a beautiful full circle moment.
Yes.
My Sunday Song album was a live recording
Yes.
where it was accompanied by the Company. So it was
Mhm.
a blessing to have them supporting me there. So yeah, that's my family. That's my family.
So I want to ask you this question because there we meet so many artists and we've been in the industry for so long. But there's
Hmm.
certain artists that you meet and you fall in love with their spirit and their kindness. And you've been that type of artist, even though you don't remember meeting me way back when. Every
Hmm.
time that we have experienced you, you have always been like the homegirl, the young lady that everybody
Yeah.
roots to see win. Tell me,
Oh, thank you.
what is it about who you are that makes you so receptive, so humble, and so kind with this big gift that God has given you?
Well, I would have to first attribute that to my parents.
Mhm.
My father and my mother, they are in heaven now,
Mhm.
but we grew up with it was a beautiful upbringing. He's a pastor. We prayed every morning before school, and he was also a singer and musician, so I learned a lot about music from my father as well. They used to play the Hawkins and Winans and all that good gospel music. So um, my father was a very humble man, and he had a big, beautiful spirit. Lit up the room, but he was the most humble man in place. So I guess I got that naturally. And for me on this journey,
Mhm.
again, a mentor like Donald Lawrence. Donald Lawrence is aware of who he is, but he's a very approachable, chill, laid back, humble personality as well.
Mhm.
So, what it boils down to me, other than that influence, is I realize that this is God. And I
Yes.
realize that I think I'm grateful for the uniqueness of my voice
Very
and,
unique.
the vibe, the soulful vibe that I'm comfortable doing and all of that. But at the same time, I realize that there are so many amazing vocalists who can sing up and down the scale and squall people so they in a frenzy and do all this stuff. And I realize that my what I bring to the table is simple,
Right.
but what God allows it to be really touches people's hearts and really impacts people. And that part, I realize that's not me. So I can't have the big head about that because that's God. There's so many different sounds that people can listen to. So the fact that they choose to invite me to come and sing
Mhm.
and want to pay me to do that and have me on their special event or choose to pay for my music and press
Mhm.
play on my music,
Mhm.
I realize that that's a blessing, and I don't take that lightly. So when I have the opportunity to, and I love people, I'm a Gemini, so I definitely love my space,
Right.
and but I love people as well. And so this whole time, from working with Donald into my solo career, if I have the opportunity to run into somebody either at a church, a program, the airport, the mall or something, and they recognize me or they want to tell me that they enjoyed the music or anything of the sort, I embrace that. I don't, I'm always kind of grieved when I hear that some artists aren't very welcoming, and they kind
Right.
of, they
Right.
turn people off because they a little snotty, they a little nasty, they don't want to
Especially
talk
in
to people.
gospel. Especially in gospel music.
Especially in gospel,
Come on.
I realize that. Let's just be real. The first year that I released my album, it was nominated for Grammy, Stellars,
Mm.
and Doves, right?
Wow.
Mhm.
And I went to all three of those award shows, and I love my folks. We
Yes.
love our
Of
people,
course.
right?
Of course.
But the obvious observation was, I went to the Stellars, and everybody had entourages, and you couldn't get to them, and they wasn't speaking much, and they were getting their
Wow.
nose powdered every couple of
Wow.
seconds. Not all of them, but some of them.
Yes.
Some
Yes.
of them.
Yes.
The wigs was
My dad,
blowing off. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
my daddy said, make sure you say some because it
Right.
definitely was not all. But
Right.
there was a different tone because just a few weeks later, I went to the Doves and. They had their blazers and jeans on, and everybody
Mhm.
was saying hello to
Mhm.
everybody. Then I went to the Grammys, and I saw Babyface walking up the way, and I saw John Legend. I saw all these major stars saying hello in the
Wow.
hallway, and all the
Mhm.
women. It's a long day, the Grammys, so you in your gowns, and you got to get food where you can. So we over by the concession in our gowns, trying to sneak a hot dog real
Right.
quick,
Mhm.
all in the same boat. So it was very humble. So I was like, yeah, I don't really embrace being snooty to people because listen, we all in this thing together. So I really appreciate people's support.
Yes.
That is what has had me here all of this time, celebrating 10 years and counting and continuing to release music. I'm working on my fourth album
Wow.
to release hopefully later this year.
Mhm.
So we're being productive on this quarantine, and
Yes.
I'm never far removed from the fact that I'm here because people press play on my music. So when I am blessed to come in contact, those are people without a face to me, right? I just
Right.
know
Right.
that someone's listening, and I hope that someone's listening. But when I meet someone and they say, when I went through this, or when I was going through school, or we
Mhm.
got that PhD, or you helped my father when he was in the hospital, or
Right.
oh, when I had cancer,
Right.
Mhm.
that's what matters to me, y'all. I get
Right.
chills when I even say those things
Yes.
because I don't have any awards on my mantle, but those are the awards that matter to me when people tell me that the music that I've released has helped them through their lifetime. So that's what sticks with me and keeps me going, honestly.
And I tell people all the time, it's not you could have a whole bunch of awards on your mantelpiece, but if your bank account still says zero, it don't mean nothing.
You show right.
So
You
I always
show
say
right.
that don't look at my awards, look at my account. That'll tell the whole story.
Yes.
Now
Well.
I want to
Mhm.
say this. Um, um, and this is for both you and your husband. So you got to answer for yourself and for your husband. Okay.
Okay, I'll
Okay. So
try.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to get really, really, really close to Anita Wilson through her stomach. And if I was gonna cook the perfect meal for you and your husband, that y'all after y'all eat it, I could ask you to be on this project, and you'd be like, whatever you want, whatever you like. What would? Cause see, if it's chicken for me, if you make fried chicken, you could whatever you like. Tell me what that meal would be for you and your husband.
Oh my goodness, what a cool question. Well, we keep it real simple these days, but on a day where we just kind of just in a favorite meal, enjoying a favorite meal, definitely some good fried chicken is always in order. You said a meal, so fried chicken with some good mac and cheese,
Mm-hmm.
the good kind, not the runny kind, and not the real, the good kind of mac and cheese.
Right.
I love fried corn, so
Uh
that
huh.
would need to be on the plate. Maybe some good butter rolls, some good
Okay.
butter rolls,
Mm-hmm.
and then a good maybe something green, maybe good broccoli or something, maybe a little spinach or broccoli.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could really take it on home with a good red velvet cake.
See,
Oh
See,
yes, my
see,
favorite cake too.
there,
Yeah.
there,
Jesus.
there you go, right there. Well, the next time
Yeah.
you come to San Diego, you and your husband, me and my wife, we gonna put something together. Robert Earl Dean,
Okay.
we gonna do a God radio spread for you. And when you and your husband get up from the table, because we got some professional red velvet cake makers here.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
we not only because you came from the Church of God in Christ. Not only are you gonna say Lord Jesus, but you she Baptist. Oh Lord, so she'll
I'm
know about
Baptist.
she'll know about speaking
Well,
in
I grew
tongues.
up Baptist. I
Okay,
grew up Baptist.
Right.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to let you know that you too can speak in tongues right after this. That after this meal, you're
Yes.
gonna be speaking in so you go,
Yes.
woo, praise the Lord. But we want to thank you because those are the kind of fun things we like to know about artists because I
Yeah.
believe that when you get with artists, if you treat them like human beings, they can come off stage and just be themselves. And if you know how to
Hmm.
love the couple, not just the artist, but the family unit, you then will get
Hmm.
the best out of that artist.
Indeed.
Now,
Indeed.
now,
Well, I thank you for that love.
now, sister, let's transition into this new single that is ridiculous because Yolanda Adams and I are very close. We just interviewed her last week. And
Okay.
how did y'all come up with this collaboration?
I just love Queen Yolanda
She
Adams.
loved
She
you
is,
too.
oh my goodness, she is the best, and she shows me that love, and she has
Yes.
shown me that love.
Yes.
For my Sunday song, I can't even tell you the pinpoint the time that we began to get closer and exchange numbers, and
Hmm.
she's availed herself for me to hit her up every now and then and have conversations,
Yes.
about women in business and the music industry and all kinds of things. She's definitely been a mentor, big sister, mama,
Hmm.
influence in my life. So when I did my last live recording, the Sunday Song album, I asked her to come to Chicago and introduce me for that album. So the first voice you hear on that album is Miss Yolanda Adams. And
Hmm.
she came, she was so low maintenance, back to being humble and
Yep.
just low maintenance.
Hmm.
So it was the best. Me and Rick wanted to have her come up on something that night. I was like, I can't have Yolanda Adams in the building and not bring her to the mic. I didn't know what song it was going to be on, or
Right.
was it going to be a ballad, or
Right.
is it going to be this or that. So I took a chance. I did a churchy medley
Oh
on that
yes.
song,
Oh
and then
yes.
we end up reprising that, and then I called her on up, and she was cool, and she came up and did her thing. So that is the Yolanda and Anita reprise that's on the Sunday Song album. So last year when I gave Rick the idea about doing the remixes, this is the first one that he worked on, and he let me hear it, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Yo, that is fire!" It was just so,
Wait, but did you hear what she said?
I thought it was
Crazy.
a good.
She said, "Yo, that's fire." Oh, you just jumped up a whole nother level. She said, "Yo,
It,
that's fire."
it's a good connect because it's almost two different styles, but still the same kind of style.
Man, I'm so glad it turned out that way, because it was already the churchy hand clappers.
Yes,
So Rick just
ma'am.
kind of beefed it up and sped it up a bit
He
and beefed it
fattened
up
it
some
up. He
more.
fattened it up.
He fattened it up for the
Yes.
dance floor and churchy kind of vibes. It kind of
Yes.
brings all of those worlds together. So I thought it was cool because we hear Yolanda Adams on a lot on ballads, and
Ballads.
I mean, she goes for it. She
Yes.
does her thing no
Right.
matter what. She
Right.
calls for all of these tributes, and
Right.
she delivers no matter what.
Right.
So she definitely can sing anything, but I know that a lot of her famous hits are those ballads. So
Yes.
this was a bit of a different space to hear her squalling,
Yes.
cursing like that. So I was like,
The
this is great. So
Southeast
that's why you hear
inspiration,
at the
Yolanda.
beginning of that.
Hmm.
Yes, yes, and that was another beautiful full circle moment because I did a live IG with her, and I told her I was like, this is full circle because I remember being in East St. Louis, hearing, you saved
Yeah. Yep.
my life,
I knew it.
you know,
Yep.
yeah. So to have her on there, and that's why you hear at the beginning, me saying, I wonder if Miss Yolanda Adams feels like singing this part. That was an organic moment at that session.
Yes.
Like, hey, are you cool to come up and sing on this a little bit? So I think Rick knocked it out the park with the Clap Your Hands song, and we have a cool lyric video that gives some visuals for it, and it just kind of brings. It's just my journey, y'all, and I have embraced it, and I try to keep it fresh each time. But I have a natural space of bringing fun
Yes.
and party
And
vibes with
coolness.
gospel and coolness and
Yes.
laid backness
Yes.
with gospel and still saying Jesus.
Yes.
And all you have to do is think about
You're
it,
still effective.
So
Yes.
thank
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's clap your hands. I hope y'all feel
Oh,
it.
wait a minute. Hold up, hold the dough, yo. You
Hold
know,
up. Wait a minute.
I gotta put some LT in it. Robert
Okay.
Eldine, we
Okay.
didn't get invited to the dance party.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
Wait a minute. She didn't use our hands in the clap your hand video. We
Oh
had
my
we
God.
had the chicken and red velvet cake all ready for her
Uh,
and everything like that. So sis, we're gonna have to say it like this. The next time you on the West Coast, you and Rick, because I'm gonna put y'all two together because like I said, I'm a big proponent of husband and wife duels and family businesses.
Mhm.
Y'all gotta come to San Diego, and we just gotta do something just like stupid crazy
this is
for the
your
Lord.
station,
Yeah.
Anita. This is your West Coast station. We're a BDS reporting station, and we want to
Okay.
be your family away from Chicago and away from Illinois. And whenever you have
Okay.
any premieres, anything you want, I'm Mr. Go Tell on the Mountain,
Yeah.
and we're gonna
But,
push
but
it.
we're gonna open it up for Rick too because he's a great
Oh
producer.
well, he always
Yeah.
comes with us.
Okay. But I mean, if he has some new
Indeed,
stuff,
yeah, that goes
Yes.
yeah,
without saying.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But thank y'all. That means so much to me, for real, y'all. Thank you
We
so much
appreciate you
for.
taking the time to be on here because you and your people were so
Yeah,
accommodating when I first reached out to you
good,
guys.
Yeah.
good. No, again, I never take support lightly.
Yes.
I couldn't be here on my own. So it's not only the people who press play on their phones and stuff, but it's the people who tune into your show. It's you guys choosing to share my music.
Oh,
There
I'm
can
one
be
of
a
your
lot of
fans.
red tape
I'm
in
your
radio.
number one
So
fan.
Well,
thank you, sweetheart. Thank
well,
you.
well,
I
we
look forward to, maybe we'll get back to Bayview. Shout out to Bayview and Pastor Terry Brooks.
Right.
So
yeah.
That's
we
my
are definitely
brother.
going to find our moments to come back
Yes.
to San Diego and spend a few days and come into the station, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So here's the thing. I want you to pitch the new
Introduce your
song,
song.
but
Yes.
this is how I want you to pitch
Okay.
it. Because you're a great businesswoman. I want you to introduce your brand, your company, your businesses, and lead into the pitch
And
of the
how
new
they can
song.
reach you, how their fans
And
can reach you.
yeah, because we want them to know the fullness of Miss Wilson.
Okay. Okay, I think I can do that.
Yes.
All right, y'all. I am Miss Anita Wilson. I am the president and CEO of my independent label, Reflection Media Incorporated. I am the artist on my independent label. I am a proud businesswoman. I always strive to produce and create timeless music that will always stick with you and won't get old no matter when it came out.
Hmm.
And I have just released a new dance soul EP. It's remixes, it's good vibes, and it'll definitely help you move, work out, clean up, and dance, and just be encouraged. So this is the lead single from that EP. It's called Clap Your Hands, and it is featuring the iconic legend,
Yes.
Miss Yolanda Adams. Turn it up, y'all.